Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners. This is Ramadan day 4 here in the UK. I hope you're enjoying this pondering at the pond and finding it rejuvenating. As rejuvenating as I'm finding it, actually, just being immersed in this space and coming here with my reflections on the Quran. And writing notes for the series and poring over the Quran has certainly given me new energy, and I feel that after many busy years when Ramadan just flew by, I'm actually experiencing a more immersive Ramadan. If you're liking this series, please do subscribe and share. As I said at the start of the series, I'm simply trying to read the Quran as if it matters to our day to day. Today I'm going to talk to you about the history of Bismillah. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillah is something we say countless times a day, and it is so much a part of our routine and parlance that we hardly notice its depth of meaning. The Bismillah has reached us both from the Quran and the Sunnah. And when I use the word Sunnah, I don't mean Hadith. Rather, I mean the normative practice of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that has reached us as Deen. It is incumbent upon us to say Bismillah when we start eating. We are taught the Bismillah at a young age and encouraged to say this sentence when we are about to start a task. The Bismillah is found at the start of 113 of the 114 chapters of the Quran, with the exception of Surah Al-Tawbah, which is the 9th chapter. The chapter which is about Allah standing away and lifting His mercy from the enemies of Islam at the time of the Prophet's mission. This is why we don't supplicate to Allah's compassion and mercy when we start reciting that particular chapter. I will inshallah talk about why the surah is an exception. The late Maulana Amin Ahsan Islahi, one of the greatest mufassirin of our time, whose work I admire very much and refer to often, and I've referred to him very frequently in these videos, he has provided a thought-provoking explanation of the Bismillah that I will share with you today. Maulana Islahi's groundbreaking work approaches the Quran as a coherent text, and his theory of coherence is one of the best we have available so far. In volume 1 of his tafsir, Tadabbur-e-Quran, from page 45 to 49, he writes about the Bismillah, and he categorizes the Bismillah as an ayat, a verse of the Quran, and a supplication or dua. I must admit that I had never really considered it to be a dua, but when I read his reflections on this, I found them very compelling. Maulana Islahi notes that the main theme of this verse, in the name of Allah, is found in ancient religious discourses. In Surah Hud, as Prophet Nuh alayhi salam exhorts the believers to step onto the ark in the name of Allah. He says, "Embark ye on the ark in the name of Allah, Bismillahi, whether it move or be at rest, for my Lord is, be sure, oft forgiving, most merciful." This is Surah Hud, chapter 11, verse 41. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam wrote to the Queen of Sheba in the name of Allah. I will read to you the exact verse. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Innahu min Sulaymana wa innahu bismillahirrahmanirrahim. It is from Solomon and is as follows: in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. This is Surah An-Naml, chapter 27, verse 30. Maulana Islahi then explains why the Bismillah is a supplication or dua. We say these words at the start of a task, when making a decision, and when we sit down to eat. We say these words when our adult child goes out the door on the first day of his new job. We say these words when we are feeling nervous at the start of an exam. According to Maulana Islahi, this turning to Allah has been shrouded in the garment of beautiful words. Firstly, the prayer acknowledges that the task, act, or decision is not standing in rebellion to Allah. It is an act that would gather Allah's blessings. Secondly, this prayer invokes the two great attributes of Allah, Rahman and Rahim. Thus, we acknowledge and remind ourselves that if we end up making a mistake, we hope that Allah, the most merciful, will forgive our error. It is no wonder then that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if a task is started without the Bismillah, it will not gather Allah's blessing. In a beautifully articulated point that highlights the thematic coherence of the Quran, Maulana Islahi notes that when we start reading the Quran with the Bismillah, we connect ourselves to the first revelation from Allah to our noble Prophet. Iqra Bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Proclaim or read in the name of thy Lord and Cherisher who created. Iqra bi-ismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Proclaim in the name of thy Lord and Cherisher who created. Maulana Islahi then delves into the subtly different connotations of the words Rahman and Rahim. He critiques the more popular view that Rahman is simply a more sympathetic version of the word. He critiques the more popular view that Rahim is simply a more emphatic version of the word Rahman. Rahman uses the noun form Fu'lan. These nouns have a connotation of excitement, passion, and restlessness to them. The word Rahim uses the noun form Fa'il. This form contains connotations of constancy, steadiness, and stability. Therefore, Allah's attribute of Rahman refers to the energetic nature of His mercy. We can think of this as an inexhaustible energy and capacity for compassion, whereas Rahim refers to the constant, steady nature of His compassion and mercy, a type of compassion that will last forever in perpetuity. Here is our key reflection for today. When you say Bismillah, think of it not as a mere sentence, but as a supplication to Allah, whose compassion and mercy are energetic, inexhaustible, and perpetual. Assalamu alaikum.